Namaste, welcome everyone today to this gathering, Satsang. Very happy to be here again, home in Monte, Sahaja. And so today's Satsang was a very spontaneous a feeling that came, and something is not good. Hello, everyone. Okay, good. Okay, please come and you can.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
I want to take this opportunity like this. Would be the only chance to talk with you. Now one question seems to stay. And all the attempts to answer are witnessed, or they are intellectual. Can this perceiver be perceived? Everything with physical eyes I see. And this bodily sensation comes like now, slightly trembles, they are seen. No thoughts coming now, but if they come, they are seen. The one who wanted to go all the way was just a thought, and with also the belief that I'm this body and this is also seen. And now the scanning is just going around, and the scanning is seen. The attention moving about is seen. Everything is seen, it's just perceiving.
Yes. Therefore, so all these things are seen. Every movement, every thought activity or the absence of activity, they're also seen. The functioning of seeing is also perceived. Okay.
Perceiving when I can't see the perceiver, it's just witnessing everything. And what is witnessing this? I can't find anything, it's just witnessing.
Okay, stop right there. So we come to this place, you have already just admitted that everything, and I'm sure I'm looking around to see who would not agree with you. I'm looking to see if I can see anyone who would say, I don't get it, I don't understand what he's speaking. But from my own looking, my own assessment, I don't think I see anyone who would refute what you say, if you have been following. If you've not been following, I would like to know what you've been doing here for some time. So I think we can come just loosely, without taking some poll or something, to say, up until now, all the things that you've said, I'm sure everyone who have followed my pointing would come to the same point of conclusive admission, that, all these things, the presence and even the sense of the absence of things are perceived. The very act or functioning of perceiving is also perceived. Boom. Now, your next sentence is, but I can't see who is perceiving it. So the one who is saying, but I just can't catch the one who is perceiving all of this. Okay, so I'm slowing down so we can all be together on that one. The voice of the one who say, but I cannot catch the perceiver, is positioned where? The one who says, all this is perceived, all this is perceived, all this is seen. Even the very act of perceiving is perceived. One last thing, that which is perceiving, I can't see it. So the one who is saying that which is perceiving all this, is this one not also perceived? I wonder, I'm just checking in with you. Is this one the final statement? This one who is saying, but the one who is perceiving all of this, I just can't find him. Who is this one who is saying, but the one who is seeing all of this, I cannot see? Where is this one located? Is it also apart from all the things else that are what being perceived? Or is it also one of the things also perceivable? Is this a voice that can be relied upon? Can this voice produce the final answer? Is this voice the fact voice, or is this voice fiction voice?
This voice is also coming from the person.
So then suddenly we don't need to follow this one then, because it's also just an image on the screen of consciousness. Or is it clear or not? Even this one, no? Very good start to a satsang. Even this one who is, look, finally, everything can be seen, everything. The seen and the absence of seeing is seen. The very act of perceiving is perceived. But who is behind the perceiver, the perceiving? Can that one be seen? And if it can be seen, by whom can it be seen? A voice says, yes, I'm stuck here. I can't see the perceiver. Where is this one positioned and looking from? Is this a game or is this a true research? Hello? Yeah, I want to know. Is it at this point we all turn around and say, I give up, can't do that one. And if that which goes, this one is too hard, I can't go any further and so on. Is that not also perceived? The fact is already there, that all this is perceived. Then by what is it perceived as? By what is it perceived? Can an answer be given and who will receive it? I'm happy so far we're going. You've mostly all the people I've seen, I know your faces. We've looked at each other before. We've asked these questions before. We've pondered over them. We've done our research. We have introspected and looked, So I say, okay, I'm comfortable with you about this, okay? Now we come to this thing here. We have not had many conversations that's come this far. So let's see where we can go with this conversation. So the one who says, all this is seen. By whom is it seen? Well, would it be the same one who's saying all this is seen? All this is seen, including the very act of seeing is seen. By who? Was it by something else or by the one who says all this is seen? All this is seen. Okay? Now comes this last question. But the one who is seen, I cannot see. There's something a little bit different there. All these things are seen. It didn't say all these things I see. All these things are seen. But that which is ultimately perceiving all of these, including perceiving, I cannot see. And suddenly you become what? An inspector? Looking. Can't find him. But you who can't find is who? On the screen of perception. This is why I asked you, are you an object in front of the lens of perception, or are you the one behind the lens of perception? Answer.
Behind the lens.
Yeah. It's just witnessing.
Is witnessing, is it a witnesser?
No.
Are we left with a problem? Final question can't be answered. Why? Because the one who will receive the answer is where placed? On the screen. Can it introduce itself? Sorry guys, it's me. It's not a question or an answer for your head. The answer is, to the question, all this can be seen, but that which sees cannot be seen, because I am that. Can I be seen? Oh yes, I can see you sitting on the chair there with this mala around your neck. I mean, you can't be the one who sees. This body with mala around his neck is also seen. It's all a question, it's all a matter of whether your questions are to satisfy your mind or is resolved inside your heart. If you satisfy your mind, you're going to be going around in loops for quite a while. I just can't find everything I can find, but the one who is seeing everything, including me looking to find him, is also seen. It's a trick. It's a trick. Something is playing here that seems not to want that this be found out. You know him very well. He doesn't even want me to be here. Why? Because the one who will follow the game right up until what? It vanishes. Right up, he can keep coming right up, being right in the seat, right in the seat, right in the seat until he can't be. Where can't he go and still survive? Or where can he go and not survive? This satsang is not going to be for everybody. Maybe for everybody here, I don't know. I'm here to find out today. I've been away for 6 weeks. I'm happy with this type of approach. But can you absorb the answer, you see? Is there an answer, and who will receive it? Maybe the answer will kill the questioner. I don't know. So how are you going to return to your seat? With a dilemma? Or totally free?
Free would be nice.
Who said that?
Yes.
The ultimate one? Or the ultimatum one? is it a joke, or it could be? It could be the most beautiful joke. Not cynical at all. I mean, divinely wise one, maybe. And how will you know you're free? What would need to change for you to receive the conviction that you are free? I'm going back to my seat, free. Free of what? Free from what? You have to solve it right now.
Even now when it's quiet and peaceful.
It makes no difference to the discovery. Quiet and peaceful may go, they may disappear. What is it that cannot disappear? Cannot even appear, even. In which direction you will go to find him? You see why this kind of question, no? Why I'm still on this planet. And perhaps why you are also. Maybe you've used up your visa time for casual thinking. Because you were a casualty of thinking. Now you've used up your time well to come to this question. No. Your next step will put you where? If one needs to be taken. I'm happy. Nearly all the people in the world are not concerned about this question. Something has to arrive here, I don't know, qualify in some way. But we can't leave it here. I should help you, or you can do it. Yeah? Why is it that no answer will do? Why is it that with this question, no answer will do? The answer will not satisfy you if it is only a mental answer. There has to be a seeing, there has to be a revelation in you. Why? All these things are seen. All these things are seen. Whatever is perceivable, you say, in front of the eyes is seen. Behind the eyes also is seen. In front of the eyes, the play of the 5 elements are unceasingly playing. Behind the eyes, in the realm of thought and feeling, sleep, that also is perceived. That which perceives them is what the question was put, can that be perceived? Can that be perceived? Then what happened? Imagination? That which perceives, the very act or functioning of perception, can that be perceived? Behind the lens of perception, who is there? And the mind searches to invent an entity to take response for the seeing, like the discovery at the end of the yellow brick road. Sorry. Who is there? You. You are here. But you without you. Or do we need to look for another? Oh, sorry, it's not you, it's him. But to grasp this, something needs to vanish. Does it even need to vanish? Something held onto that claims the I to be itself. And I must be the highest. But I give a clue, I call it the firstborn. So if I is born, something must be there to witness the birth of I. By what name does that one go by? Too much pressure building up in the head? Oh, just checking. Don't give this question to your mind, because it can do nothing else but search for a thing as an answer. However much it searches, and if it finds the most subtle, it will still be perceived, including the searching. What does the apparent seeker have to do to find even the most subtle thing? What must he do? Must he turn his head, look under some carpet? What must he do? In what direction are the eyeballs of consciousness looking? Or does it have eyeballs at all? Something in this world plays fear to discover this. Because as soon as a body is formed and an identity is created inside, attachment comes for the identity. Fear comes for attachment to the form, and all forms are perishable. So fear of perishing. And the disappearing of ignorance feels like a death. And we have a phobia about all kinds of death, especially to do with ourselves. I'm talking too much. What are you stuck with? Tell me. Speak up.
It's silence, nothing coming, nothing, just nothing.
Silence is seen. Where are you in all of this? What is your location? What is your position?
Just
that which is seen or that which sees?
just aware of just here.
Yes. Is its purpose to be a weakness? Does it exist to weakness? Witnessing of the subtlest kind occurs in it, but does it itself, need to witness? Witnessing of also would imply a subtle functioning of duality, would it not? So if witnessing is weakness, casually, passively, I don't know what the word would be. Is it itself a function? That final thing. Is it a function? Okay. What knows this? You see, if we have started satsang like this, it's not going to last very long for a start. So you better not be attached to a long satsang. For long satsangs, we have to bring in a little bit of personal, which the world loves, absolutely. Is it a function? What knows it's not a function? Huh? Huh? Its own intelligence. It and you are different, or where are the what we need to know? Are we reporting on behalf of something? Are these responses coming from neck upwards, or where is it coming from? Huh? Are they an intellectual game we're playing, or what?
It's just knowing just of all of this is just sort of somehow known, I don't know what.
Why are you fluffing about? Because mind is trying, and you don't see. Mind trying, is it you trying? Why? Why is mind trying? Because you're giving him a chance. Mind, help. Which is seen also.
Whatever comes from this mouth is seen. It's just whatever happens is already seen and known before it happens.
Yeah, we know this, yeah, okay. Are you going to hand in your papers now? Homework, hand in papers, please. Check your answers. final, all this saying, you are what? Is there any fear there? No fear. Stuckness?
Feeling of stuckness is experience, but it's also seen.
Ah. So that which sees a feeling of stuckness, is that stuck?
No.
Yes. What knows that? What knows it's not stuck?
Must be me.
Which is what? What is your name here? What is your name here? Answering at this point. What is your name?
No name.
Why?
Everything is somehow known.
That which knows that everything is somehow known, is that known?
Well, it's me.
Really? You can let it out, it's fine. How much of you? 60%? 78?
It must be all.
Is that a statement or a speculation?
Because everything is known.
So everything is what? Known. Yeah, we know that. But we want to know that which knows that is who again? Who?
It's me.
You sure it's not me? Or her? It's you.
Just knowing. Just knowing.
Something is uncomfortable to say it is me, isn't it? Yeah. Why? Somebody tell me why it is uncomfortable to say it's me. Because?
We used to speak from a personal view.
She said, because we are used to speaking from a personal view or perspective. And that is not the perspective from where this answer is coming from now. So it feels a little uncomfortable to say it's me. Because that me, previous me, is a bit smelly. And to say that it is that me is not comfortable. So maybe, okay, is there another word we can use from me? Anyway, I'm satisfied. It's good. Thank you. Very good. One moment. You at the back there. Yeah, no, you. Yeah. Tuk, 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 tuk. No, this one. This way for one. Just for the moment. Yeah, thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Guruji, when I follow those, when I follow the direction of can the perceiver be perceived, I'm getting stuck in duality because, and there is the perceiver and the one who perceives, but there is also another perceiver that perceives it, and it goes on and on.
It doesn't go on and on. The mind say it goes on and on.
Yes, that's where I'm getting to.
Let's look at it then, so that we can cut that ongoing traffic. Because can the perceiver be perceived? It's like on the very edge of the dualistic functioning of knowledge, and just a little bit more and it just combusts into something else. It is, as far as questions, is one of the most unique questions, still on the very periphery of the circumference of concepts. If you use it well, pull, you'll catch something. So when we say, can the perceiver be perceived? Let's go through that again. We know when we say, so stop me when you feel, okay, that's the point. So we're saying that as soon as you, in deep sleep, you don't know anything at all. We don't have a sense of knowing anything at all. There's no relationships there. There's not even your usual sense of self there in deep sleep. We can agree or not? It's an everybody question. All my answers and questions is everybody question, okay? Okay. When the waking state appears, the kind of like the functioning of consciousness opens up, and we start to perceive, time and place and your bedroom and water and things and stuff. All this comes into play. Just as soon as the consciousness wakes up, you must have the sense of your own existence first before you can register the existence of anything else. You must know that you are you are already in a perceiving position automatically. You know it's late, I better get up, and so on, so and so. Okay? But you must be there in order to read the time. The time cannot be there before you. You are the one who reads time. So something is already functioning. So I call that the functioning of perceiving. You're perceiving things and life and time, relationships and so on. That comes very spontaneously upon the waking state, okay? Then we say that everything on this side of the eyes, on this side, is made up of the play of the 5 elements. We can talk like that, that a combination of the 5 elements in so many different things is producing all these bodies, different shape of bodies, different species, the perception of color, of names and forms and shapes and time and space and sky and trees and earth and water, and everything is perceived. That is perceivable. Behind the eyes, which we may say in the realm of mind, thought, emotion, feeling, memory, desire, all of these things, they're also perceived, isn't it? We perceive them also. Eyes open, we perceive. Eyes closed, we perceive. Isn't it? So it seems that all that is perceivable is perceived, meaning that we know that we are perceiving, just like we know we are conscious at the moment. If I look at you and say, you're not conscious at the moment, you may say, well, actually, my mind's a bit distracted, but I am conscious. That is, there's a distraction. So you are conscious. You cannot deny that you are conscious, because to even deny you're conscious needs consciousness to deny you're conscious. Okay? So we know that in the waking state period is when the activity, largely, our life exists in the span of the waking state. So nobody's living, a functioning, interactive life 24 hours. Nobody. Maybe, 15, 16 hours of conscious interactive life. The rest we go into sleep. So when I speak now, we can only conduct this kind of inquiry inside the waking state. When we have the faculty of using our mind and intellect and so on, we know that these are functions inside the conscious state. So I say that all of this we can perceive, we are perceiving, okay? Externally and internally. We know the difference between fantasy and actuality. We have all these functions inside us. So that's where we come to. Then we say, the fact that you are conscious and perceiving is also known, isn't it? not from something way back here. Actually, right there in the seeing of things is the awareness of them. I can't say, I can see my finger because my awareness is right here looking at it. The awareness is right in the same place, in the same time, which the awareness is there. But the awareness did not happen. Can we be like this to say? Awareness did not happen, but the functioning of perceiving is a function and happens inside an awareness that is not happening. Can we be together on this? I don't know. Don't agree with me if you don't. Okay? So, something ultimately must be perceiving everything. Or are there several different points of perceiving? And if there are several different areas of perceiving, like say eyes and nose and ears and body and so on, they must come to some central perceiving center. Would not be true? Would you say like this?
Yeah, I think that the question would be not can the perceiver be perceived, but what is the perceiver perceiving? And then the only thing where it all comes together is that there is no difference between the perceiver and the perceived. Indeed, the perceiver must be the perceived.
The perceiver must be the thing perceived. What perceives that? What knows that? If that were true, what would know that? That would also be perceived. That some perceiver and the thing it's perceiving, they are arising together. That must be also perceived.
But if there is no separation, then there is no question of another perception.
Well, you see, if there's no separation, there'll be no language. For what purpose is language? There must be, in a certain space-time, there must be a functioning happening, and the functioning needs the mind to compare, because you said the mind is the instrument for measuring and comparing information, data, and things like that. It must have something to report about. It must have something to compare. It functions in the realm of duality. So if we know something is hot, because we must have a sense of something that is cold. Otherwise, hot doesn't stand. These are all things that are interrelated opposites, you can say. That's the way the game works. I cannot know, oh, this person is tall, if I didn't know some people are short. It works like that. That's how this kind of thing works, you see. So we say there's no separation. That is an assumption. You see, when I say, can the perceiver be perceived, because we actually cannot deny that there's perception. And if there's perception, there must be something that is perceiving. So this is a legitimate question. Can that which is perceiving, because we cannot deny that we are perceiving, so can that which is perceiving all this, can that be perceived? What is the purpose of asking this question? Except to find out if the perceiver, if there's a perceiver, if it's a single entity, or is it coming from nothing? You follow? If the perceiver, can the perceiver be perceived? And we go, here he is, then he's a something. If he's a something, there is something perceived also. Then what is perceiving that something? Can the perceiver be something? Or is it no thing? This is the point. If you say that, but the perceiver, like you, I think you mentioned, we know that the perceiver is perceiving something. We know. Did you say like that? The perceiver is perceiving something. Some of you.
Really, no.
I don't remember. No, because I was just saying that. Let's not assume the perceiver. Let's find the perceiver first. Yeah, he was saying the statement before that, but okay, let's start back at the point that you can acknowledge, which is that you were saying that the perceiver and the thing perceived must be the same. Mm-hmm. If the perceiver and the thing perceived are the same, when the thing that the perceiver perceives vanishes, then the perceiver must also vanish.
Isn't that a function of duality? I mean, the fact that one perceives is because there is something to perceive.
Let's hear what she's saying for a minute. Let's not let the question leak away, because it's still good, still useful. You say?
The perceiver exists in duality when there is something to perceive.
Yes.
Because it's not like it's the job of awareness to perceive. It's just a byproduct.
Okay.
So...
It's good. If there must be a perceiver, if there's something to perceive, then the perceiver becomes a function.
Yes.
The perceiver and the thing perceived, they're rising together. What knows that? That's my question.
Perception, awareness.
Okay. That answer, is it anything more than a conceptual answer? Or does that, maybe that is what we mean, then that answer detonates into spirit. Either it's an answer we say, boom, boom, yeah, very good, tick. First-rate student, go to the left, okay? Go and meet the principal. Or that answer is, whoa, 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 whoa. Where am I? Whoa, 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 whoa. It cannot simply be an intellectual conviction. Otherwise, the mind takes the trophy. Been there and I got it. You see, I want to solve this thing with you that say, yeah, but the perceiver and the object of perception arise together. I ask, but what knows that? Is that on the same level or at a deeper level of seeing? Come, answer. It must be at a deeper level of seeing. So, therefore, that perceiver which arises with the object of perception, okay, and I say, but something must perceive that. That must also be perceived. So then that loses its power, like, that's an ultimate seeing. No, that's just another cloud passing then. Then I want to catch you at the place where you think, but it just goes on and on and on. And I say, no, it doesn't go on and on and on. Because if it is seen that there is a perceiver, because you have to remember that the ego also perceives. It also witnesses. But the difference is the ego witnesses with self-interest. Oh, I don't like it. You see, it's a very partial witnessing. It's a biased perspective. It is not a total perspective, isn't it? So when we say that, I agree with you that there is a perceiver that arises simultaneously with the object of perception. But there's a knowing of this, there's a perceiving of this. At that deeper perceiving, you see, of this, is that a duality and a functioning, or is it, what is there? Is there anything personal there?
It's just awareness there.
It is just awareness there. It says just awareness there. Can you agree with this, or what would you say?
Yes, I can agree with that.
Yeah, yeah. So you who agree with it must be the awareness itself or not?
Yes.
You see? Is that agreement a dualistic function or something? What happens in that ultimate agreement that yes, but there's just awareness here? Can the conversation go on? Is there more to dig? How do we know that somehow the question is exhausted? The question finished, and what?
I guess that's the point. And after that, the dissolving of the ego has to start.
Why start, not end? Why not end also? Huh? She said it's already gone. It goes with that with the last bus. It went with the last bus. Let me tell you something. It's very interesting. Something, okay? We come to this. We must be careful that we don't end up as a room full of intellectuals. Okay? I ain't going to let you get away with that. We've come out feeling, wasn't that great? Wow, I love it. Okay? No, you're dead. Okay? Okay? Meaning what? That if it is true, there cannot be these things sprouting again and go say, yeah, well, okay, but I mean, I just really feel so this and I don't know what to do, and that language still has a potency. It may come through the mouth, but it has no root. You see, it's like I was making the example, you may have heard me say, well, in India, if the room is hot, fan is going, and we switch it off, click, it will still go for a while, okay? But you have cut the power, so something knows it was going, but it is stopping. It's not stopped, but it is stopping, it's slowing down, because it's not being fed. So although the language may still continue, yes, I don't like, but it's lost its potency. Like there isn't really a believer behind it. You may find yourself speaking things, but you're not really in them. And if somebody goes, what are you talking about? You say, I really don't know actually. I know what the hell is talking, but this is why sometimes we end up saying, speaking but not speaking. That's where that comes from. Something is interacting and it seems like this, but the power is cut, meaning that the identity with it is cut. Okay? So on a certain level, this functioning is going on like this, and it plays a part in the normal functioning of life, so and so. But the importance previously given to that has diminished. Does it mean it's rubbish? No. It's a functioning that is still somehow going on. And consciousness does not waste any of its actions. It makes use of everything. But the mind may not understand how it makes use of everything. But you intuitively know somehow it just gets embedded into the mass of consciousness. We don't need to know that. So this thing that, yes, but the perceiver and the act of perceiving or the object of perception, they are rising together, and that's somehow known in the infinite self, which is without any fixed location. It's as though we are looking out from some vastness. But because we are so accustomed to the anchor of a body, we keep assuming it's the body that knows this, and this little person living here that knows that. But the little person living here is also known. And as we begin to introspect, we are finding that we are not relying upon this three-dimensional objective form. And something is becoming less located as a form and becoming more spatial. Have you experienced or not? You see? And gradually, this is why the thing that we fear, which was that somehow if we lose contact with the form, we are dead. We found that when we lose the strong belief in a form as our factual support, we're actually quite happy. Because something is moved out of the perishable zone of the body-mind. The body is a time body. It has a time life, a birth time, a time life, and an end of time thing. The consciousness doesn't follow the same line. It's not born by sperm and ovum. So we came to this point that we say that you are admitted also, but we are now in a space of just awareness. It's the beginning of the death of the ego. in a way, it is true. Because if you realize that, then the ego, which thrives on belief and interest and identity, has lost its compass support. So therefore, it will continue even after the realization of the truth, not as a mental or intellectual conviction, but as an experiential proof that, but there's only this. And what is this? This. Okay? And you may think, wow, end of ego. Perhaps not. Blade still turning. Blade still turning, meaning that you have come to the recognition that you are the formless seer, somehow, functioning within the form, and yet at the same time, the sense, the memory tags. I was looking at one time, we were talking about this, it is as though, why is it that this personhood still keep playing? Why does it keep coming up? Something begins to scan, like scanning internally, and somehow some kind of blueprint, some kind of X-rays coming up, and there are little dots in the X-ray, and these points in the X-ray are little seeds of memory, of identity seeds that seem to be hanging up on some little close peg inside the consciousness mind, and keep reminding you of your personhood data that keeps bringing up these kind of things, being watched from the data-less consciousness perspective. Is that kind of going too complex? Okay. So these kind of seeds of I person, of things that perhaps was experienced with intensity or with strong kind of attachments and so on, these are like little psychic photographic imprints in the memory of consciousness mind. And they keep on triggering little things of attachments and fear and resistance and that keeps the bubble of personhood seemingly afloat. What to do? Well, these little dots of psychic identity points, draw as a magnetism, so to speak, to pull the attention towards themselves and seemingly perpetuating a sense of personhood, watched from the personless seeing. And this twin functioning is there. One is a weakness, but the weakness is impersonal, witnessing the sense of the personal plague, you see. Which is the stronger, you see? The more that we keep looking from the place of the seer, of the seeing, of the I presence, we are finding that in I presence does not need memory. The I presence is here, and in I presence, when we pay attention to the environment of I presence, we feel there's stillness and peace and the joy and openness, wisdom. There's an infiniteness about it. When we look towards I person, we feel narrowness, we feel judgment, we feel insecurity, we feel fear. And for a while this play will continue. But gradually we'll move to the place more where there is stability. And the more energy is put in the place of the stability, the influence, the pulse of the person is weakening, because it needs identity, it needs history, it needs, to be a victim, to keep pulsing out this stuff. This is one way I can put it. But gradually, by the power of grace, I'm going to use this word again, because grace has called you in order. It's not by your person that you came to this place of seeing, because grace, I call it the grace of God, has called you. And the grace is supporting your awakening. Here comes into play trust, openness. These are your swords now. This is your power now. Fear comes to isolate you and to remind you of your personhood, that you failed before. Why should you succeed now? Trust tells you you are either the child of God or your consciousness, and you are imperishable. And between these two, tug of war, so to speak, there lies a central principle, which is neither polarities. Where they're seeing, but it is not in any conflict because it has no match. It is not one end of a duality. This is the pure absolute awareness. So your looking is fine, is good, but the conclusion is not true. Come as far as yes, you've come as far as yes, but there's a point where a perceiver and the object of its perception, they are simultaneously rising together. But I said, remember, that is also seen. That place in which that is seen, do we call that a perceiver? Is that its role, is to perceive? No. Perceiving happens spontaneously to it, but it is not losing or gaining by perceiving anything. Like we gave the illustration of the first bird and the second bird, and somebody wants to talk about a third bird. I said, there's no third bird, there's only awareness now. If there's a third bird, there's going to be a fourth bird, and there'll be a fifth bird. There's enough birds. The illustration is only bird one, bird two, and yourself. That's in my story of it, you see? So anything that seems like it's an unending series of illusions, I think it's not. It all stops with you. You must find yourself in the position you are the awareness itself, behind which there is not another. There's not a second awareness. But what happens is that the seed of personhood is still there in the dynamic expression, and gradually that will get exhausted as the consciousness keeps confirming its true nature more and more. This is why I say, paradoxically, it takes time to awaken to the timeless. We are the timeless, using time as a mirror to recognize our timelessness. No ego is involved here, if you're listening properly. Ego is what is going to be removed by the soap of real understanding. You will come to a place of emptiness where there's no direction to go. Why? Because it is universal. In what direction will you travel to find the infinite? It is always here. It is always where you are. The infinite is not, you cannot measure infinite. The old rules will not do. The old measurements will not do. It is not a measurement. It is immeasurable. when you come to realize that when the question was asked, can the perceiver be perceived? And the final trickiness was something admitting, but I cannot see the perceiver. And I ask again, the one who is making this statement, can this one not itself be perceived? Then you may have the chance of saying, oh, I falsely imagined I was in this position. Now it is seen that that position is itself also perceivable. I have not moved, nor can I. So how far this will go to be read as experience and not as a kind of philosophical, spiritual concoction. Because I'm not here for that. Don't finish your conclusion at the place where the perceiver and its object of perception arise together. Yes, there's a deeper conclusion, but that conclusion is experiential and it is final. What knows that? Where is the answer of this known? Where, in which direction is it known? If not here. But somehow the mind, is done very well. It's going to tell you, yes, you see, you can't find it, can you? Well, that will depend who it's talking to. And this is why I say, this is where you must decide the end. Can you get that though? If you receive this as a person, then the game goes on. But if you perceive that it is here, can the perceiver be perceived? No, not. It's a non-phenomenal recognition and perception. You've heard me use this term or not? Meaning that it's not one thing recognizing another thing. It's that which is recognizing itself non-phenomenally, non-dualistically. Does that make any sense in your heart? It will not make sense in your head. Which leaves us where? In a sense, you can say yes, but beyond this, where to go? And yet, it is not enough to erase the ego pulse. The switch is turned off, but the blades are turning. For how long is the consciousness waiting? So from time to time, it will still arise. Yeah, but I don't know what I'm going to do. But you know what? Increasingly, when this voice, when these states of sorrow and frustration come, you see, they're not coming with the same strength of response. Something is looking and thinking, really? Really? I don't know what I'm going to do. Something. Is a second bird? Really? And the second bird is also watched. Really? in an unmoving place. When will that be?
It's already done. Like it's already now.
It is already so. Somebody said, but when will it stop? When will the mind stop? I know I'm not the mind. I know I'm not the mind. Guruji, I accept I'm not the mind. Why does it go on? Well, it goes on for the one who keeps being troubled by it. But why does this one go on? Interest, identity. But don't grieve. The switch is flicked. Remember. Stay in your stop moment. This is not a 10-minute moment. Stay where time does not exist. Do I have to tell you to go there? Is it a time travel to be in the self? We also, it's good to be strict in your discipline with yourselves. Sometimes, not about everything, you don't have to, something's not really a big deal. Mind will keep on somehow bubbling up and something will feel like, oh, I need to address this. And sometimes you will need to, but not just out of habit. Number one thing, grace is with you. Don't try and get into some street fight with your mind. You won't win. Stay as yourself. Watch this. Watch the reaction. Because the last thing I remember, one of the last videos in India I said, sometimes it comes up like, you intend to do something like, I just want to just control the mind, just come calm again. And the mind goes, really? Try. Okay? And you start to do all your stuff and it's not moving. And what to do? I said, no. Pay attention to the place you're looking from and check out what is your present environment like if you don't make one step to your mind. And you'll soon see that the place you are is the place you're trying to get to by cutting through to your mind. Save yourself the trouble. You are already here. You understand? And these subtle plays are going on all the time. Something feels, I need to control the mind, I need to suppress the mind, I need to beat the mind. No, you need to stay as you are. Too simple? Thank you, Mooji.
Thank you, Guruji, for really deep and intense satsang. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, I'm sitting here, all of us together. I feel good. I feel good that we can have this quality of satsang, this quality of introspection together. That is not some kind of mental messing around. Because it will not happen if grace is not here. It's a very different vibration when we are speaking only from the mind and la 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 la. Because if it is that, I cannot be here. It's only if I can feel that we are somehow conversing inside the very pulse of consciousness. And then, yes, this sangha is alive. Something is coming to say, open the eyes of your heart. Look, everywhere is God.